I want to tell you a story about one of the first times that I really understood the concept of cultural diversity. I was babysitting for a couple who lived right behind my house, and they were a Filipino couple, and they had 3 kids. And I was doing this, I think, as a summertime job at the time. And so I would get there about 6 in the morning, and the couple had to leave early for work. I don't remember what the husband did, but the wife, I remember, was a nurse, and she would always leave last. And it happened one morning that she asked me, "Would you make the kids breakfast this morning?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." So the wife goes off to work, and I'm gonna get ready to make pancakes for the kids. And they come down and they're sitting at the table. And I get out a bowl and I'm looking for the pancake mix, and I find the pancake mix and it says that it needs an egg. So I go to the refrigerator to get an egg, pull an egg out of the refrigerator, and I'm looking at it and thinking that's a pretty big sized egg, but I didn't really give it a lot more thought than that. And so I crack it open, and you'll never believe what happens. A chicken falls out of this egg in my pancake mix. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a chicken in my pancake mix. And it's all wrinkled and it's got little gray feathers and it smells. I mean, it was disgusting. I was like, oh my God, what do I do with this egg? And the kids are sitting there rolling on the floor. They're thinking it's hilarious. And I'm like, what do I do with this egg? What do I do with this egg? I just was freaking out. So I called my mother. She was home, and I'm like, Mom, I cracked open this egg and the chicken fell out. And I was telling the whole story, and she's like, relax, calm down. It's probably just some weird fluke thing. Take it easy. Just try again. So I'm like, okay. So I go back to the refrigerator, decide not to use the eggs where I got the original one, found a different box of eggs, get out the different box of eggs. Very carefully take out one of them, and this looks more normal size, so I'm like keeping my fingers crossed. Crack it open, and sure enough, normal egg. So I go ahead and make the pancakes. And so I'm waiting all day for the mother to come home. Finally, she gets home, and I'm like, you're never going to guess what happened today. And she's like, what? What happened? I said, well, remember you asked me to make pancakes for the kids for breakfast, right? Well, I was making pancakes, and I took an egg out of the refrigerator and cracked it open, and a chicken fell out. And she looked at me like, yeah, and I'm like, a chicken fell out. She's like, oh, where did you get the egg? And I said, well, on the shelf in on the door of the refrigerator. She said, well, what did you do with the chicken? And I'm like, what do you mean what did I do with the chicken? I threw it away, of course. What was I supposed to do with it? And she said, oh, well, good thing you didn't get another egg like that. And I'm like, what is this? So finally she explains that this is actually a Filipino delicacy. And what they do is they take these big eggs and they put them in boiling water, and so that boils the chicken inside the egg, cooks it, and then they take a plate with a bed of rice and then they crack it on the rice and the chicken, and then they actually eat it. And I'm like, oh my God, they eat this thing? I was like, whoa, I'm ready to throw up. I'm like, oh, very interesting. So just be aware, next time you get a rather large egg, keep your fingers crossed that there's not a chicken inside.